Welcome back to my $20,000 December challenge. This is where I'm only doing roof, gutter, or window cleaning, and I'm attempting to make $20,000 working completely solo, so no employees. Today we've got an awesome day ahead of us. So we have actually got some good updates from last night. So last night I was sending out a whole bunch of messages and sent out some estimates, and I have already heard back from them. So last time I talked to you, I believe I may have gotten another one on the schedule, another estimate for today, because earlier yesterday in the morning, I actually had my second estimate canceled. So I've got 3 estimates to go and do today in person, and the 3 estimates, I actually sold all 3 of the estimates that I talked to on the phone last night. So that is fantastic. So that means that I can definitely fill up tomorrow and Friday. I'm gonna have to do some scheduling today, but we've made awesome progress and we are finally starting to book out a little bit. I'm waiting for my coffee to be done, and then we're gonna be headed off to our first estimate of the day. All right, well, I tried to record that conversation for you, but to no avail. As soon as I put my phone in my pocket, the video stopped. So unfortunately, I didn't catch that one, but hopefully the next one I can catch the conversation and get the actual sale. I did get the sale, so it's gonna be a real easy one. I think probably 2 hours max is what I'm thinking. I think we might be able to get it done even sooner than that. He's got a pretty good amount of debris up there, but it's nothing like the second job from yesterday. There's less debris than that, and it's a little bit bigger of a house, but it's just gonna be gutter cleaning, and then he's got a good bit of moss, but it's not grown up very much at all. And so I set expectations and told him, hey, this stuff will kill it off, but really we're looking at a longer time horizon. And he was totally good with that. So we'll end up doing a powder treatment that'll kill everything off. And all in all, we're gonna be looking at a total of $389.16. So I got another good job sold. So that's, I believe, the 4th one. So we're sitting pretty good, and we're gonna be off to the next. If this customer's home, I believe this guy is gonna be home. I'm not 100% sure, but if they are, then I will go ahead and try to record this, and then, yeah, be onto it. Maybe catch a sale in here. I'm here at the second estimate. They were not home, but I wanted to show you. I didn't need to pop up here, but when the moss is growing kind of like this, so in other words, it's pretty damn small here, this stuff would come off. But if we come up kind of here, tools, brushes, all that kind of stuff, they don't get in on this small stuff very well at all. And so when it comes to stuff like this, I really like to do soft washing, because that ends up taking care of it, and then I'm not destroying the shingles with tools or brushes trying to get every little piece right. And so I think that I'm going to recommend we either wait and do a soft wash, or we do a powder treatment only, and then just gonna have to tell them that, hey, I'm sorry, but this is, not gonna look perfect for a while. As long as you tell them that and you set the expectations that, hey, I'm not making this look perfect, then it will come out really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hop back down in the truck and get 2 different estimates written up for them. And then a little bit later on, probably once I'm finished with the 3rd estimate, I will give him a call, and I'm gonna try and sell them on the phone so you can actually hear that. Got finished up with all 3 estimates. Turns out the 3rd one is a bit tricky for me. So that was actually a prior customer of mine. I did a soft wash on her roof. Except it was 2 of my guys that were out there, employees that were doing the job. And it was my old truck setup, which had its share of issues. She has now got moss growth again. And so I did that like September 10th of 2024, and it is December of 2025. So, I mean, we're talking a year and 4 months or so. And so that was a long while ago, but it's still, I have a hard time believing that if it was done properly, that you'd be seeing moss growth come back that fast. The only issue is there's a section that last year, so this section right here. So this section of roof right here, it literally looks like, I can zoom in a little bit for you. This was a picture from last year, okay, from when we were actually doing the job. And this was after doing no cleaning. So this section was completely clean. last time we were out there, and this time it looks like it's been growing since we started there. Like this whole section was completely covered in green, as well as you can see this section over here. That section was also completely covered in green. And then there was a couple of other little sections. And so I'm quite honestly having a really hard time debating on what to do here. Is this a like free callback? She didn't call me like it was. And so I think that what I'm going to end up doing is just give her a massive discount on it, like half off. Because the other thing too is she has been an awesome customer. I did her dad's place not too long ago, and I think that there's been 3 or 4, maybe even 5 other people that she's referred us to. So she's either getting a very, very large discount on that service, or she's going to do, or I'm just going to do it for free. Unfortunately, it's going to need a soft wash again just because of how bad that moss growth was. So we're going to have to wait till springtime to be able to do it. But anyway, so that was the third one. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be that, but so that'll be a conversation. And then, so our second one, I already told you that we sold the first estimate, and then the second one I still have to talk to. So as I said this morning, we actually sold 3 jobs last night. So the 3 phone calls that I made. All right. So this one was Andy. You heard me talk to him on the phone. I ended up just pricing him at $250. If you look at the Google Maps image, there's really like a tree. And he said the same thing, that it's basically like a couple of gutters. The house is a bit bigger than this makes it look like. It's longer. But there's really only one tree that we're going to be fighting, so it won't be a bad job. I'll get it done in an hour, no problem. Then we've got Greg, which is actually who we've got to call. So he had a detached garage that he wanted just blown off, and then he had his main house that he wanted blown off and the gutters cleaned. And he didn't have a whole bunch of trees super close to him. He did have a good bit of trees, but it just wasn't very close to the house. So I priced that one at $450, and that one is for both blowing off the garage and then cleaning his main house. So sold that one as well. And then the last one was, let me see here. Which one was the last one? The last one, if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't expecting to sell. I didn't think that this would go through. Usually, quite honestly, because this isn't being cheap by any means. This is the guy that needed the little bit of gutter repair. So I'm gonna have to replace some gutter spikes for him, and then doing a gutter clean and moss prevention treatment. And so this one, I ended up pricing this one really good, and this one shouldn't take more than a couple of hours, I think. So that'll be a really good job as well. So we're pretty damn set up. So then I also have 3 other customers that I've already sold. I've already talked to you about one of them, $300 moss prevention treatment. I messaged him hoping to schedule him for tomorrow, but he is out of town. So I'm going to have to do that probably sometime this coming week. That one was already sold from, I think, over the weekend. And Elizabeth, so the Elizabeth, that's the one that I'm cleaning the chimney chase and her neighbors probably. And then the last one is another really good one. And this one is from a while ago. I'm just waiting to hear back from him because I told him, hey, call me when you're ready. But this one is a gutter cleaning and moss prevention treatment. It's a very large single-story concrete tile roof, which ends up requiring a significant amount more baking soda. But this is a really good job. So $650 plus tax. And so that one shouldn't take more than 2, maybe 3 hours, hopefully by myself. I have not actually done this job by myself, I don't believe. I believe that I sent a crew of 2 people out there. And I think we've only done it once or twice. But so I have got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jobs that I have not scheduled. So that is fantastic. As well as Pat, the old customer that I might need to raise prices on. I was telling about that. I have to get back to him. Tristan, also old customer. He's the guy with the gutter guards that I was talking about yesterday. I have to get back to him with a price. So there's potentially 2 more. Well, most likely 2 more because those are old customers. Oh, and then I had one more person reach out just a little bit ago. Oh, I haven't heard back from this guy in forever. I was really wondering about this one. This is a really damned cool house and a really damned good job. Oh, that is fantastic. Okay, so really big, really complex, really steep house. It is beautiful. So I'll be excited to do that one. So he's ready for roof clean again. And yeah, check the numbers on this one. This is just for gutter cleaning and powder treatment. So in other words, it was a pretty damn big job. So that's fantastic. So I'm gonna get back to him. I gotta make that call to Greg. And then I have to figure out, I have to get some people scheduled too. So it is currently 3 o'clock. I took a break. I was starving. I didn't eat this morning because I got up kind of late. But I am getting my sleep schedule back on track for tomorrow, because tomorrow is hopefully going to be a bigger day. Greg, his house with the detached garage and the main house, I'm hoping to do that one tomorrow afternoon. So that would end up pulling us, I think, to around $11.50 for tomorrow in revenue, not including tax. So that would be really damn good day. And then I got to figure out Friday as well. So I've got some work to do. And but I want you to hear this phone call with Greg, because I think this one will be cool. I'm giving him two options. So the last clip of me when I was up on the roof, that was this house. Okay, so this one, I'm giving him the option of we could either do a $200 powder treatment because it's not grown up enough to do a removal, and then the other option would be to wait on it and do a soft wash. And to be honest with you, I think that I might push towards more of the powder treatment, just because springtime's a ways out. So it'd be kind of nice to just kind of get on it. And then it sounds like this guy is going to be somewhat of a repeat customer. When you use the powder treatment to kill off moss growth, it will completely kill the stuff off, but it can take a long time for the stuff to come off. But the caveat to that is that typically if I do a once a year service for somebody, by the time I come back for that second year, so in other words, if I did a powder this year, December, next December, if he has me out to clean the gutters or whatever, what hasn't already fallen off, moss growth wise, the blower will completely remove. And so that can end up doing a really good job. And I think that the time horizon of me doing a soft wash versus a powder treatment, I think it would actually end up being pretty damn even. Because this is, I can already tell, is going to be somewhat of a long winter. Anyways, I think that that's what we're going to do, but we're going to go ahead and call him.
Hello, it's Greg.
Hello, sir. How you doing? This is Devin.
Yeah.
Hey, so I got to take a look at the that other house today, and
Okay.
was definitely seeing some green up there. So I wanted to, I should have done this before I called, but I grabbed a couple of pictures. Okay, they're not showing up. All right, I will find the pictures and send them to you afterwards. But yeah, I was seeing a good bit of green up there. It hasn't progressed significantly. In other words, it's not like crazy growth. It's
Right.
just kind of starting. I did see it on the
Okay.
front and the back. And so the picture I got was from in the back. The deal with it is when the stuff isn't grown up like pretty high, you know, so it
Uh-huh.
kind of, the rule of thumb that I usually go by is when it's starting to grow above the bottom edge of the shingle.
Uh-huh.
That kind of makes sense. When it gets to
Yeah.
that point, then I can do a manual removal, and the stuff, it'll come out great. It will, I mean, I can get usually 95, 97% of the stuff off, and by the time I leave, it looks amazing. But the issue is that when it's not growing above that, it wouldn't be worth me trying to do a manual removal for the sake of the life of your roof. So
Okay.
putting a brush on the roof, or I have a special little plastic scraper tool that I can use to remove the growth, it won't be able to get to that stuff that's like super small. And so, in other words, if I were to try to get to that kind of stuff, I would be kind of tearing into the shingles. So definitely
Okay.
don't want to do that. So in other words, all that kind of means is what we could do right now would be chemical treatment. So
Okay.
if you were wanting to get on it now, we could do a powder treatment. So what that would look like is just the white powder stuff you see up on the roofs, except we would use a absolute ton of it. So it would look like it snowed after we left. And after a couple weeks to a month or so, all of that stuff would be completely died off. And then it's just the waiting game of letting nature to kind of take its course and that stuff coming down on its own. So it won't regrow after that point, but it just won't look perfect for, some time.
All right, no problem.
So the only other option that we could do would be to wait till springtime to do a spray treatment. That stuff is, it's a lot stronger. It's more expensive, but it'll take less time for it to actually remove the stuff. So in other words, that stuff typically in the 3 to 6 month range, that stuff will be completely gone. With the spray treatment, with the powder treatment, it can take up to a year.
Okay. Well, whatever you suggest. Counting on you to be the expert.
Okay. Well, so I'll give you the prices on it here. If I'm being honest, though, I think a powder treatment might be well worth it, because it would be, I mean, a good bit cheaper. We could get on it now, so in other words, it doesn't get to the point of overgrowing. By the time you were looking for another service, that stuff would just be blowing off. So
Right.
I think that would quite honestly probably be the best bet. And so for that one, we would be looking at a total of $216.20 after tax.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. And so if you want to do both, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was your house. So I actually have an opening for tomorrow afternoon. I wouldn't be able to get to the address tomorrow, but I could get to yours if by any chance that could work.
Yeah, fine.
That works? Awesome. Okay. Real simple. So then I will need, because I'm waiting to hear back from a couple of others, because I don't know if I could fit in this other address to Friday, or if I would have to wait until this coming week. So if I can
rush on it.
Well, if I can get if I can hear back from some people, then I'll be able to get back to you and talk to you about a date on that one, though.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that sounds good.
Perfect. Well, did you have any questions for me then?
No, I really don't.
Okay. Awesome.
It sounds like you got a good handle on it.
Yeah, it'll do its thing, and it could be, moss growth can be tricky, but this is, I think, definitely the most cost effective, and will do the job. And quite honestly, I was kind of surprised with the color of your roof hid the stuff really well, that white color. But anyways, all right, cool.
Okay. Oh, good. Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Well, then I will plan to see you tomorrow, and I will keep you updated as to when I might be able to fit in this other one.
Okay, sounds good. You'll send us an invoice in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your evening.
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
Well, thanks. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, and this is bad business practice, but I talked to him over the phone and told him that I was going to give him a discount. The last time I talked to him, so yesterday, I told him I was going to give him a discount on both of these. So I gave him the full prices, but that'll be nice. So that takes off $20, so that would bring my total for that second address down to $180 plus tax. And then I don't know what that will bring tomorrow's job for, but that's awesome. So I got a good day scheduled for tomorrow, and then I need to schedule Friday. Okay, so that ends up bringing down the price of tomorrow's job to $390. So that's all right. That will still be over $1,000, so we'll be chilling. So I heard back from Elizabeth. Okay, so Elizabeth, I already messaged her last night about scheduling her for Friday. So that was the job. She needs the chimney chase cleaned. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one on the schedule. Okay, so we got Elizabeth on the schedule, and that one is a $300 plus job. I have a feeling, kind of what I'm thinking of, depending on how bad that chimney chase is, I'm probably gonna charge like $50, $75 or something like that. And then hopefully I can get her neighbor nailed down too, which could bring that up to, I'm hoping, a total, check that out. As I'm talking to you, somebody else just filled out the form on the website. So we're doing awesome. So in other words, I think that I should be able to get that job up above $400, hopefully somewhere to the $500 range. But I think what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to schedule Jeff. So that one is about a $500 job. So that could bring me right up to $1,000 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot him a message and see if we can do that Friday afternoon. Okay, so message Jeff. I'm going to message back Bob, which is that $1,300 job. And I'm going to see, it's like 3 or 4 stories. And it's a 12-12 or 10-12. And so it's like at the peak, it's like 5 stories. So it's a huge place. But anyways, I'm gonna message him and see. And I will say, last time we did that job, we finished a bit early, so it was kind of a shorter day, but I also had a guy working for me. So it was me and another guy, and he was actually a pretty good worker. So this could end up being a pretty damn long day, and I could be pretty fucking tired for a Monday. So Bob just responded to me, and he says he'll be around until 2. Awesome. So we got Bob on the schedule. That's that $1,350 job, which actually $100 of that is tax. So $1,250, which is the exact mark I need to hit to be at that 20 grand mark for the month. So that will actually mean I need to make less over the weekend, or less. I have to make up less. So I'm getting closer, right? And then, crazy enough, that's a big job, and that's not a cheap price either. And he just asked if I can give him an estimate for a spring window cleaning as well, which he's got quite a damn bit of windows. So that will probably, I'm sure that'll probably be over $1,000 too. So that'd be awesome. We've got some updates. I've finished some stuff up. So what I've done is I have Monday scheduled. So that's Bob. That's a $1,350 job. And then Friday we have Elizabeth. That is the gutter cleaning, potentially working for her neighbor. And then we've also got Jeff, which is the job that I sent out the estimate to yesterday. I talked to him on the phone. So that one's sold. And I'm going to be doing that one on Friday. Tomorrow I have Karen. So she's got the rental unit, and then also her own property. I talked to you about that one, I think on Monday, mentioned it. And so I'm going to do both her property and the rental tomorrow. And then I'm also going to go and take care of Greg. He's the guy I was just on the phone with. I'm going to go and do his main house with his detached garage tomorrow afternoon. So I've got all of this, the rest of this week scheduled, and I've got Monday scheduled for this coming week. Tuesday, I showed this one, I think, on day 0. Old customer, Laura, and this, to be honest, I need to raise the price, but she's got pricing issues, and I'm more helping her out, if I'm being completely honest, but super sweet lady. So that's just a $150 job, and to be fair, it's really simple. It's not a huge roof. It's just, it gets a lot of debris on it, and she's got gutter guards installed, so it's just blowing off the roof and the gutter guards. And then doing cleanup, but cleanup just takes a while. She gets a lot of debris. So anyways, I've got that one scheduled for Tuesday. And then I also reached out to Bruce. So that is the job that I went and sold this morning. So that was the first job of the day, first estimate of the day. So that is a $350 gutter cleaning job. Actually, I take that back. $360 gutter clean and moss prevention treatment. So I've got that one to go and do. Hopefully, I'm waiting to hear back from him. Hopefully going to do that Tuesday. So that would bring Tuesday to 5:10 if that works for him. And then I also reached out to the person that I've got the $300 moss prevention treatment for. And so that would bring us up to around $810 before tax. Not as much as I was hoping, but it wouldn't. Well, actually, I could probably go out and do 4 jobs that day. I could probably do Bruce's other property, which is a $200 job, and that one would bring us right up to $1,000. So her $180 is what that one is. So I'd be right at $990 before tax for Tuesday. So waiting to hear back from him, waiting to hear back from the $300 moss prevention treatment, and so that's pretty much that. I reached out to Pat. I've got waiting in limbo, so I put him on the job board. So I've got to get back to him. Oh, I've also got Andy, so I could actually do Andy on Tuesday too. That would probably work better. So we've got some stuff up in the air. I'm going to wait to hear back from some people. So I think that I'm going to pretty much wrap this up. I'll update if anything comes up, but that's pretty much it. I've got a message back, this person, so they're out in Stillicum. Looks like they're looking for a gutter cleaning and some repair. Sounds like the same thing that Jeff, or I think it was Jeff, our job for Friday that I need to go and buy those gutter spikes for, the bolts. Sounds like they might need the same thing, so that could work out good. Buy the bolts and then be able to use them on 2 jobs. That'd be sweet. So I'm gonna message this person back and get that out, and then hopefully have an update for in the morning. So thanks for watching. You have any questions or anything, let me know down in the comments. And if you've been following along and haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.